Hey guys, Miss Karen here. We're going to look at Unit 2, Notes 4 now. Yesterday we looked at adding and subtracting radicals. Now we're going to look at multiplying radicals. So again, these perfect squares, they're not going anywhere. We talked about this. You need to make sure that you know these or how to find these. If you still are struggling with trying to figure these out, please connect with me. Here's our steps that we're going to take when we're multiplying radicals. Okay, so the first thing is similar to the adding and subtracting radicals. You still want to simplify if possible, okay? Then you're going to go ahead and you are going to look at what operation are you using. Are you adding and subtracting? So that's when we're combining only the outside numbers, or are you multiplying? Now, here's the new thing with multiplication. If the sign says to multiply, you're going to multiply the insides and you're going to multiply the outsides. So since you could be multiplying the insides and the outsides, you have to then check at the end again, can you simplify any more, okay? So that only happens if you multiply, because remember, when you're adding or subtracting, the inside is going to stay the same, right? The inside number or the number under the root doesn't change. It only changes when you're multiplying. So if you multiply the outsides and you multiply the insides, and then you check to see if you can simplify again at the end. So let's look at this first example here. I have 3 square root of 18. So first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to try to simplify, because that's always the first thing I check. Can I simplify? I know that I can simplify 18 into the square root of 9 and the square root of 2. So when I do that, I have this 3 out front that I'm going to bring down. So it's out front. And now I know that the square root of 9 is 3. So I'm going to have that and then the square root of 2. When you have 2 numbers out front like this, there's no adding, there's no subtracting. That tells me I'm multiplying those numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the front. 3 times 3 is going to give me 9, and then I still have the square root of 2. Square root of 2, then I can't simplify anymore, so I know that that's my final answer and I'm done. Let's bring those variables back again. Okay, so we're going to simplify if we can. I know that square root of 12. I can split square root of 12 into the square root of 4 and the square root of 2. Sorry, square root of 3. Silly fearing. Square root of 3. So when I do that, then I am going to also look at my variables. Well, a to the 7th tells me I have a 7 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What you're going to do, remember, is circle your pairs. And pairs are going to be simplified out front as 1. So let's do this piece by piece. I still have this 5 out front. I'm going to bring that down. Square root of 4. I know that I can simplify that to 2. So I'm going to times that by 2. I still have the square root of 3. And now simplifying your variables, I have 1, 2, 3 groups of a. So I'm going to have a to the 3rd out front. And I still have 1 left, so that's going to go underneath. So now we're going to put it together. 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. I have a to the 3rd out front. And then I have the square root of 3 and a underneath. I can't simplify that radical anymore, so that's going to be my final answer, and I am done. Looking at number 3 here, now I have the square root of 2 times the square root of 5. Okay, when you are multiplying, you're going to multiply the numbers out front and you're going to multiply the numbers underneath. So this is like saying 1 and 1. Well, I know that 1 times 1 is going to give me 1. Then I have the square root. I'm going to do 2 times 5. So 2 times 5 is going to give me 10. And especially important when you're multiplying to double check, can I simplify square root of 10? In this situation, I cannot, so you can leave it like this, or you can write square root of 10. 1 square root of 10 or square root of 10, they're both the same answer. Let's look at number 4 here. Sign says multiplication again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply the numbers out front and multiply the numbers underneath. So I'm having 4 times 6 is going to give me 24. Square root of 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. So now I'm going to check. Can I break up 6 at all? Can I simplify 6? I cannot. So then I'm good to go. All right, number 5, square root of 20 times square root of 6x to the 3rd. We're going to go ahead and we're going to simplify if possible. So square root of 20 is going to give me square root of 4 times square root of 5. And then I can't simplify 6, but I know that I can do x to the 3rd, because that's going to bring 2 of them out front. So I'm going to have x1 square root of 6x underneath. Okay, so when I simplify this even further, square root of 4 is 2 square root of 5. Remember, I'm multiplying these. So times x, square root of x, 6x. Numbers out front, we're going to multiply. Numbers underneath, we're going to multiply. So 2 times x is going to give me 2x. 5 times 6 is going to give me 30x. You want to see, can you simplify that last radical? In this situation, I cannot. I'm good to go. All right, number 6, square root of 8 times 3 square root of 12. So we're going to simplify first. So I know square root of 8, I can simplify as square root of 4 times square root of 2. Square root of 12, I can simplify to square root of 4 times square root of 3. So I have square root of 4 is 2 root 2 times that 3 is still out front, so I'm going to bring that out. And then I have that 4, square root of 4, which is going to give me 2 there, square root of 3. So I got a lot of multiplication happening here. So I'm going to multiply the 2 times the 3 times the 2. So 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12. That's the number out front. And numbers underneath is 2 and 3. So multiply those together. I'm going to get 6. I cannot simplify square root of 6. So I'm done. So now here we're looking at number 7. 2 square root of 3 times square root of 2 times 4 square root of 3. Wow, there's a lot going on there. So we're going to see, first of all, can you simplify anything? I cannot simplify square root of 3 or square root of 2. Now really, really watch your sign. This is telling me multiplication. So I multiply the numbers out front and then I multiply the numbers underneath. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the numbers out front. 2 times 4. 2 times 4. That's going to give me 8. Multiply the numbers underneath. 3 times 2 is 6. Times 3 is going to give me 18. So now I need to see, can I break up, can I simplify 18? In this situation, I can. I have square root of 9 and square root of 2. So I'm going to have 8. Square root of 9 is going to give me 3 square root of 2. So now your final step, 8 times 3, I'm going to put it over here, is going to be 24 square root of 2. All right, here's my last problem here. I have 3 square root of 9 times 2 square root of 32 times square root of 2. So we're going to simplify everything that we can. Well, I know that I can simplify square root of 9 to 3. So I have this 3 out front, and then I'm also going to have this 3 from the square root of 9. Times 2, I know square root of 32 can be broken into square root of 16, square root of 2. So square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 2 I can't do, so I'm going to keep it. And then I have times the square root of 2, which I cannot simplify. So you got to multiply numbers outside. So 3 times 3 times 2 times 4. Those numbers are all outside, so I'm going to multiply them all together. And I'm going to get 72. Multiply numbers underneath. 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. So now you want to see if you can simplify again. Well, guess what, you guys? I know the square root of 4 is 2. So this is going to give me 2. And I still have that 72 out front. So 72 times 2, my final answer is going to be 144, and I don't have a root of anything left. So that is it. So you know the drill. This one gets a little tricky. There's lots of pieces, so slow down, take your time, think about each individual piece as a separate thing, and what does it mean? What is it telling you to do? If you have questions, come reach out. Otherwise, good luck.